La noche se acabó, pero tengo otra ya contigo. Le doy gracias a Dios, siempre pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Siempre lo pasamos bien lindo, lindo. Un verano contigo lindo, lindo. Ey. Me fui de vacaciones, baby, me perdí, buscando el sabor que encontré en ti. Canela con dolor de Bacardi, lo sentí. Baby, me tiene desenfocado, viendo doble, bien borracho, demasiado jodido contigo. Pasándome contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama. Tú y yo, un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito, bonito, un día bonito, bonito. Pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone today? Hope everyone is great and looking forward to With Love Meghan Season 2. It is, well, it's Monday in the UK now, so it is tomorrow. I cannot wait. I'm actually off tomorrow. I'm not doing anything. I'm not going anywhere. So I will be watching it. Usually with Netflix, when it goes live in the UK, it's around 7 or 8 a.m. So I will be watching it straight away, and I will probably do a review straight away, actually. So keep on following. And yeah, straight after. If you you want to jump on, we can do a live. We can do some talking commentary, or I might do like an immediate review, and then we could do like a call-in thing afterwards. All right, who is in the chat? So lovely to see you all. Hey Connie, hey Mina, hey Joan, hey Shirley, hey Janet, hey Rosalind, Miss Levy. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Yeah, season 2 coming Tuesday. I'm very excited to know who some of the new faces are. Now, there are some people who there's some people whose faces I recognize, but their names don't come to me. And then there's also people who I don't know at all. So what I've actually just decided not to do any research and just to watch it and just enjoy it as it comes. And because we also get to know about the people on the show as well and what their backgrounds are. And I do so we've got this season 2, and then we've got a Christmas special coming. And then I was wondering, well, where do they go from here? I think I would like them to do maybe a show that focuses on I think international show would be great, even though that would require Meghan to travel, but that would definitely add some spice literally to the mix. With Love Meghan in Thailand, hello. With Love Meghan in Mexico. With Love Meghan in Italy. Oh. And we know Meghan loves Italian cuisine. I see something like that happening. I see With Love Meghan Italy, or like With Love Meghan Malta. We know she traveled to Malta. With Love Meghan. Oh my god, With Love Meghan Japan. Like, there's just so much that they can do with this, you know? Or like With Love Meghan, an American extravaganza. Travel the different states and explore like certain dishes that are very specific to different parts of the US. Lottie said, I bet it's going to be a season 3. Well, I guess we can count the Christmas special as season 3 and then season 4. With Love Meghan Africa and the Caribbean, of course. With Love Meghan Jamaica. It's Carnival here in the UK. Anyone going to Carnival? All right. Next thing. There is definitely something in the water, because what is going on with the tabloids? Now, some people are speculating that maybe the invisible contract is now at its, it's now at the end of the line, or the beginning of the end of the line. Other people are saying that the reason the British tabloids have been going at William and Kate is basically just to get them out the house. The thing is, you get them out the house, there's no interest when they come out the house. I guess there's enough to pay the bills for the month, but the interest is dwindling. Anywho, this was posted by Squaddy Chris, and it says, even if tomorrow the tabloids wrote an article with headlines like, "Who do you think you are? We own you, we pay you," it would still not be equivalent of heaping the abuse that the Harry and Meghan get, of course. Because having a tantrum and expressing mild displeasure and lots of excuses because Prince William, whom they are protecting, isn't living up to his end of the agreement is not abusive, aorist, or morally repugnant. But make up lies to denigrate, harass, and endanger the lives of the California royals because they object to being lied about and treated unfairly is abusive, aorist, and morally repugnant. The media is not turning on Prince William. They're not revealing anything that isn't obvious to the public. Their antics are self-serving and benefit no one but themselves. This is true. And that's why I think a lot of it is just to get William out the house, and Prince William knows he doesn't need to care. Does he though? I half agree with this and I half disagree. The reason I half disagree is because the tabloid journalists are going to be seeing how much traction all of this William Kate hate is getting. The most attention that William and Kate will get in the next decade is whenever William is coronated. After that'll be the peak. After that, the most attention the royals will likely get is when the kids grow up and they start doing all the nonsense that they usually do with royal kids and teens. The bullying, the way the spare gets thrown under the bus, and then when the kids get married. But we don't even know when that will be. And we don't even know what state the country will be at that point. So I don't know how much longer they can kick this can down the road. They will eventually put their money in their pockets first. And that doesn't look good for William and Kate. Anyway, their antics are self-serving and benefits no one but themselves. And Prince William knows he doesn't need to care. He knows that when he says something, they'll give him the narrative he wants. Well, I think we're slowly marching towards a conversation where what the tabloids say doesn't or is starting to hold less weight. So, and you've got these articles from Liz Jones, who is typically a Harry and Meghan hater, from Amanda Platel, who wrote a scathing article about William. But it's all just to, poke them out, because they're being very lazy right now. Well, they're being more lazy than usual, rather. You're not talking about Kate's hair. Yeah, the Daily Fail had a very interesting headline. Where is it now? Oh, when they said peroxide princess, because Kate's hair is the most exciting thing that's going on with her. I believe this was actually just the lighting. It looks a lot more blonde when she's facing forward, but it's actually still quite brown. Plenty of time to go to the hair salon, plenty of time for them to have their holidays, but no time to, show up for the veterans for VD Day. Just put out a tweet. It's quite interesting to see. If you look at these articles, one is from 2019, the other one is from 2011. Look at how they used to write about Kate. This was before Meghan came into the picture. I never knew about this whole narrative that they were trying to paint as Kate being a housewife. There's a very big difference between a housewife and a kept woman. A housewife works in the house. She does the childcare, she cooks, she cleans, she manages the home. A kept woman has keepers, butlers, and nannies. Kate is not a housewife, she is a kept woman. So they've been trying to do this whole narrative where she's allowed to be lazy actually from the very beginning. The thing is that it worked back then. It's not working so much now. And Meghan obviously just changed the way the whole game had to be played. I also didn't know that it took, almost 8-9 years for Kate to do her first solo engagement with the Queen. But Meghan got to do hers within the first few months of her being married. That just shows you how the Betty, no matter what we think of her, how she looked at Kate and Meghan very differently. I believe the Queen at one point was very concerned that Kate hadn't worked at all. And they had to push her to get a job with the small J. I believe it was an internship at Jigsaw that she was barely there for. Okay, I'll read your comments, then we will keep it moving. I don't think she bleached her hair. I think it's just the light. I'd be very surprised. I mean, it would definitely, it was enough to get a headline, right? That is all we can write about with Kate. The hair and the dresses. Lottie, you said Rachel Ray is in Italy. I would love to see Meghan go there to do a show. Yeah, and didn't her and Rachel Ray do a cooking thing sometime back? Oh, soul food edition with her mom. That would be great. Hillary, you said Jobo the Hut is salivating about the world's kids growing up so they can use them. He just said essentially this when denigrating Harry's surfing. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to the kids, a huge part of the responsibility is on the public's shoulders. There will only be the tabloids can only create content that if the thirst and the demand is there, they're there to meet the demand. So if the public isn't demanding that type of content, then it won't be profitable in any way. And I think the public need to think about what has happened in the past with young royals. If I'm still around at that point, maybe I'll come back with a toddler on my hip. I will not be reporting on, following anything regarding young teen royals. They just deserve to be young people living their just living their lives with all the mistakes and everything that comes with being a growing person. I think it will actually be a bigger shame on the public and the tabloids if that cycle gets repeated again. Anyway, according to Jobo, William believes that he can be a part-time royal. Well, they've been slowly trying to test that theory, and it seems as if the public just isn't having it. Because what do you mean a part-time royal? A work from my palace royal. What do you mean? Anyway, this is from Celeb Bitchy. I agree with many commenters that this week's attacks on the Prince and Princess of Wales are likely a temporary blip. They'll be forgotten or shelved as soon as William and or Kate jazz hands their way through a public event. The Women's Rugby World Cup starts today. Incidentally, it feels like some courtiers are probably suggesting an emergency appearance to quell the British press's general unrest. It would be sort of funny if Will and Kate still refuse to go outside, though, and God knows they've dug in their heels before and refused to take advice. Anyway, let's enjoy this moment while we have it. The Daily Mail's columnists have been ripping into William and Kate all week, and now it's Robert Jobson's turn to get some punches in. Prince William is moving his family to a forever home in a bid to build happy memories after 3 tough years. The Sun exclusively revealed last week. Remember that the Sun has a direct line to William and Kate. However, according to an expert, the downsized monarchy, and it's literally a giant estate. The downsized monarchy could come at a huge price. How is it coming at a huge price if it's downsized? Royal commentator and journalist Robert Jobson told the Sun's exclusive show that the father of 3 should be careful of what he wishes for. Chatting to the Sun's royal editor Matt Wilkinson, this is the one that was stalking Harry and Meghan at Invictus one time, by the way, Matt Wilkinson. Robert said that Prince William would become less connected to the people. People do turn out when they see particularly people like Sophie Wessex and the new Duke of Edinburgh. Do they? Do they actually come out for Sophie and Edward? Please. They turn out in droves. Where are the droves? Where are the droves? It's coming to 2 a.m. and I'm trying not to wake up the house. Otherwise, I'd be yelling a lot louder right now. Where are the droves? Where are the droves? Where are the droves? The droves of what? Pigeons? The droves of pigeons? There are no droves coming out to see Sophie Wessex. They like that connection. And if you lose that connection, the monarchy actually loses something that it's about. I think you've got to be careful what you wish for. But for the time being, William is changing things the way he wants to. Listen, the way William wants to do things are just not going to work. One of the things about being a royal is you have to be seen to be believed. But they now face an issue of when they are seen, what are they doing? Sharon, you said some sectors of the British public have been groomed to believe that they are entitled to gossip and see nothing wrong with invading someone's privacy. Yeah, that's what tabloid culture has done. Okay, so Robert's eyes, it's not a question of choice, it's a question of duty. I think that William has got to be quite careful whilst doing this balancing act. See, what they're doing is that they are letting him know now what he's in for in the future. So Kaiser goes on to say, I don't think there's any way around that unless you want to have a part-time monarch or a president. It's a job for life, and it's a job that's pretty relentless. At this point, these people wish they could get William and Kate to commit to being part-time. Here in America, part-time would mean working something like 20 hours a week. When was the last time William put in 20 hours of work in any given week exactly? A tumbleweed just rolled by as I asked that question. So never. When was the last time Kate put in 20 hours a week a month? Good question. Basically, I don't buy the roles of King or Prince of Wales are these relentless jobs which need a man's undivided attention, and I completely reject the notion that William could do the Fakata school run and work 20 hours a week. The idea that William has to choose is a false argument, and they know that too. It's not that William is rejecting the idea of balancing royal work and fatherhood, it's that he is openly quiet quitting and refusing to do the bare minimum, all while enjoying the perks and privileges of his position. We will see how long that lasts. I think that when William gets coronated, it's going to be a massive defining moment. And just prepare. They will have all corners of the media looking in absolute shambles to do PR for that moment. But the truth always comes out. It came out when Betty passed away. Yeah, Rahini, Peggy has always been part-time. Oh, by the way, Rahini, I did look at some of your books. Sorry, I haven't actually messaged you back. I did look at some of your book. It was the part that I read was good. Like, you're doing great, so carry on. I would just say get like the way that you write is great, but in terms of like story structure, that's not something that I will critique because I don't know like the full capacity of the story. Maybe look to getting an editor, so if you want like a more well-rounded. But bravo for what I did see of the book that you wrote so far. Yeah, no one even noticed when they leave the country. I mean, they don't even notice what they're doing within the country. They've been on vacation again. And they're vacationing while their patronages are shutting down. So you've also got Camilla. One of her patronages shut down. The Project Hospice. So having Camilla aligned with them has done nothing. Of course, it hasn't done anything. A visit from Camilla 7 months ago hasn't helped, and the hospice is under so much financial strain, they're shutting down one of their charity shops. I want to know who they think it is who is so inspired by Camilla that they would contribute to a charity that Camilla is aligned with. Who would feel inspired? The Aristo side chicks? They're not donating to any charity. They'll learn the hard way. One of Queen Camilla's patron charities has been forced to make a difficult decision following persistent financial pressures. The Project Hospice, which provides dedicated end-of-life care to those across the north of Wiltshire, has been supported by the Queen ever since she became the charity's president in 2013. The charity announced this week that it has been forced to close all of their shops. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan's charity is thriving. This looks particularly bad because A, Camilla was just lounging around a borrowed super yacht in the Greek Isles just a few weeks back. Exactly. Why isn't she using her rich connections to get donations for her charities, which is what Harry and Meghan do? And B, Camilla is currently on vacation in Scotland. Surely Camilla's courtiers understand that this looks bad, right? She's the bloody queen, and this has been her patronage for more than a decade. Charles and Camilla always brag about their soft power and conveying power. Well, use that damn power to help the hospice. Exactly. Host a damn fundraiser at the palace, or use your connections to bring in a major donor. They're not using their connections to bring in donors. They're using their connections for their own gain. At this point, if you are a hardline royalist, you're playing yourself. They're enjoying super yacht holidays, they're taking cash money bags for themselves. Anyway, in nicer news, Harry's getting really good at surfing. Good on you, Harry. Living that Cali life. Free. Getting even better. I mean, we saw a clip of him surfing not too long ago. Meghan posted this, by the way. He looks super confident now. Just wow. And Archie's been surfing too. I love this for him. This is another reason why I'm so glad that Meghan came back to Instagram, because she's this just dismantles the narrative. I don't think that Harry would have to, run the page himself, and it wouldn't have to be like something that he did on the regular. But I do think that Harry having his own Instagram page would be great. I don't necessarily think it's Harry, but it's something that his people could do for him. And we could actually see back, moments like this that help just for the sake of helping to continue to dismantle this narrative that they keep trying to push that he's unhappy. I think it would be even more powerful if it was on his own page. Love this for him though. Living his best life. Surfing, scuba diving. I mean, he went scuba diving in Hawaii. No one knew. We didn't know until, was it the Heart of Invictus documentary? Love this for them. I'm over in, is this Norway? Is this the Norwegian Royals? It's cool to be a Rebel Royal. Rebel Royals, an unlikely love story. Netflix unveils Martha Louise and Jarek Verrett's unconventional wedding journey. I actually did a video on these two. They have defied their haters. They do seem very much in love. They seem very much made for each other. He wrote on his Instagram page, "Not every crown fits the mold, and not every love follows the rules, and not every royal story stays in the palace. Rebel Royals, an unlikely love story. I love that dare to defy expectations, a union written in spirit and courage, now brought to the world with a brilliance only Netflix can deliver. Netflix sure does love its Rebel Royals." Lit family, this is our story too. A reminder that love wins, spirit shines, and truth always breaks through tradition. Watch it, feel it, share it. Let's make the world see what real royalty looks like. Oh, snap. Checkmate. I will actually be watching this when I get a moment. I don't know how many parts this is. September 16th. It looks like it's only... Is it just one episode? Okay, I'm going to double check, but I will be watching this. It's very interesting. And it just shows again, I think people are just moving away from these rigid traditions for what? I'm glad they found their peace and they found love. And I think at least with this set of royals, not that they've had the easiest road, but it seems like it's just been a lot less tumultuous than, with the British royals. But then with the British royals, you're looking at an institution that's also linked to government and a huge sense of national identity in the way that maybe isn't so much in Norway. But good for them. Also, Kamala Harris, by the way, just wanted to point out, she has a book coming out. She is actually going to be coming to London in October. I don't know how much this is going to cost. I'm going to look into it, but I might actually go if it's not too pricey. I love that she's coming to London. It'll be interesting to... I'm sure she will get a very good reception. And I love that she's coming in October after Trump's state visit. There are planned protests across the country, by the way. I don't know where it was that JD Vance went to vacation in the UK, but I believe there were places that he tried to go to that wouldn't serve him. So don't worry, my friends in the US. When Trump comes over here, we will let it be absolutely known he's not welcome. And there are planned demonstrations if anybody would like to go. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to mention for today. I might stop by Carnival at some point tomorrow. I will look through your comments and then we will wrap things up. Thank you, everyone. Delilah, you said no one even cares about Ford Fiesta and Toy Soldier. I mean, Edward and Sophie were meant to be supporting roles, not front and center. They're trying to force them into the front and center because they're trying to fill the space that Harry and Meghan have left, and it's just not working. Rahini, you said, on this question, do we actually think Peggy and Kitty can do anything at all? Well, again, they were never actually meant to do anything at all. Royals were just meant to be these, fancy decorations that we look at and marvel at. They were just meant to represent something. But the public perception of that has changed because where we are in our cultural zeitgeist has also changed. If the cultural zeitgeist was still what it was before, if people weren't struggling, if we weren't, hurtling towards late stage capitalism, I don't think there would be this upheaval about the level of privilege that the royals enjoy. Chodisi, you said, frankly, the press and palace deal is all transactional. Articles are already in stock. Jobson already speculated quotes on old Harry versus Welsh children narrative story in admiration mode. I'm so glad that the Sussex children will enjoy a level of privacy that they won't be able to play that comparison game the same way, at least until while they're kids. I think also another thing about this and why the press is going after William is because the very reason why the press backed off of William and Kate is because they were being fed leaks and stories by William and Kate about the Sussexes. And now they have zero. And this is how you really, really know that they have zero access to what Harry and Meghan are doing. Yeah, Rahini, good thing Harry on the internet would break the internet. I think it would be a great marketing strategy. I don't think Harry wants to do it. I just think it would be a great marketing strategy if he did. Heather, you said JD gets trolled wherever he goes, even in America. Good. Keep trolling him. Keep trolling him until he doesn't want to come out of the White House. Okay. I'm going to leave things there. Thank you so much, folks. Love you all. Cannot wait. Oh, this is going to be such a good week. Because I also feel like we're going to get more than just With Love Meghan season 2. I feel like something else is coming as well. All right. Night night, everyone. Ciao.